conference that's happening in Addis Ababa, the Transport Ministry giving its preliminary findings into the crash of the Boeing jet last month, which killed all 157 people on board. That happened just 6 minutes after takeoff. It was one of those Boeing 737 MAX 8 planes which have been grounded around the world as a result of that crash. Let's talk now to our correspondent, Theo Leggett. Theo, obviously the investigators looking at the airworthiness of this aircraft and the pilot's actions. What are those preliminary findings telling us?
Well, there's some key stuff here. I mean, we know that the aircraft was certified as airworthy. That's no surprise. The crew were properly qualified. That's no surprise. Now, what the Transport Minister's been saying is that the takeoff of the aircraft was entirely normal, and that once in the air, when they got into trouble, the crew performed all procedures provided by the manufacturer repeatedly, but failed to keep control of the aircraft. Now, that's absolutely key, because the system on board the 737 MAX that's been implicated in both this crash and in a previous crash off Indonesia in October is an automated system that is designed to bring the nose of the aircraft down under certain circumstances, but not when the aircraft is trying to take off. And the Transport Minister here made reference to repetitive, uncommanded nose-down procedures. So what she's basically saying is that the nose of the aircraft came down automatically, which it shouldn't have been doing. That suggests that this MCAS system, as it's known, was malfunctioning. And crucially, that the pilots did what they were supposed to do. Ever since that crash back in October, Boeing has been telling us that a malfunction with MCAS shouldn't be a problem if pilots carry out a set procedure that they're supposed to have memorised for when there are problems with one of the systems on the aircraft. Now, according to this...
Hugely significant, because they're saying the pilots did everything right. They did everything they could.
Of them. Now, that suggests that the pilots did try to disable the system, and for whatever reason, that wasn't enough to regain control of the aircraft. That's highly significant, and it's bad news for Boeing.
It's in contradiction of what Boeing has been saying. So what does that mean for all these aircraft that are grounded pretty much around the world?
Well, we know that they're going to stay grounded for some time. Boeing has already developed, or is in the later stages of developing, a new software control system which is designed to remedy the faults that are thought to have had an impact on both of these accidents. But the Federal Aviation Administration, the safety authority in the United States, said earlier this week that that process was taking a bit longer than expected. Now there is a comprehensive safety review underway in the States as well. So we can expect, if what the Transport Minister here has been saying is true, that the pilots did everything they were supposed to do, that asks new questions of Boeing and may well delay the future flights of the 737 MAX.
Because the Ethiopian authorities are saying it will take, well, not more than a year for the final report to be published, but it could be up to a year. Do we have any idea?
Take time.
Yes. Do we have any idea if that could potentially put this aircraft, keep this aircraft on the ground for that period of time?
That's unlikely, because it seems the preliminary findings are already pointing in a particular direction. There have been lots of leaks from this investigation, all suggesting that it's this flight control system known as MCAS which is fundamentally responsible. Now, Boeing has been working on a solution to that problem since last October, since the first crash, and it is in the late stages of being made ready. Now, it does seem that flight testing perhaps may have found other issues that need to be rectified. So that's the patch, the software patch, the repair will be ready. It's a question of when safety administrations around the world, not just in the United States, decide that it's ready for the planes to go back into the air, and that it offers sufficient security, not just for Boeing, not just for the airlines, but also for passengers who have to get aboard those aircraft. If passengers aren't confident that the aircraft is safe to fly, the airlines are going to be reluctant to put them in it.
Absolutely. Theo, thank you very much. Theo Leggett.